Okay, one last attempt at an all-encompassing video. I think my previous one got cut off. I got 20 minutes to do this. I'm going to be much quicker this time. This is the Bosley GT. I believe it's a 1951. It's a Chrysler Hemi powered, probably a one-off. This is my favorite post-war car. It was a toss-up between this and the Alfa Romeo 6C. And I look at the Alfa Romeo and I say to myself, in 1950, we are just 5 years removed from the end of World War II. And at least on the coach building front, the Italians had made a full and complete recovery. Absolutely not a bad line on this car, just simply stunning. I'm going to come around and give you a back view. I'm doing this handheld, so I'm sorry for the jumpiness. Right next to it is a 1936 Packard 120 LeBaron, once owned by the actor, the late Edward Herrmann, probably familiar to many of you. And here's a good contrast to this 1937 Hushed, which is a predecessor company of Audi. So you get an idea of the difference between the German approach to a touring car of that era and the American approach. I'm going to swing through here because there's a couple of mini cars here. And as you're watching the video, see if you can determine an overriding theme of this year's show. Now this is a Fiat Mia Fiore factory shuttle car, and I thought it interesting because FCA obviously is the keeper of the minivan flame, and this is a 50s era minivan with a 600cc engine in it. And then I'm going to swing in the back. We've got a Myers-Metz, a Corvette powered Metropolitan, and you gotta love these Fiat Jollies, you know, with the rattan seats. And again, showing how far ahead Fiat was. Here's a Multipla and another take on a very, very small minivan concept. I'm going to swing around here, give you a look at the interior. And this seats 7, believe it or not. We've got some Mustangs here, GT350s.
I thought he had a video camera.
I do have a video camera. This might give you a hint to the overriding theme of the show. We have a Toyota Land Cruiser vintage style and a Toyota Land Cruiser, or FJ, that is modern. I'm going to swing around and give you another example of that theme. This is my friend Paul and Cheryl Colony's Gullwing Mercedes collection. So you have the newer version, this one being a 2011 model, and they're very special, almost daily driver Gullwing. And I'll tell you why this is almost a daily driver. Paul does drive this car a lot. They enter it in rallies, him and his wife Cheryl. It's air conditioned, so you have a Gullwing that you can actually drive when it's hot outside. Okay, I'm going to swing through here, get more of these then and now cars. Here is a Fiat 500, 50 style, and the current Fiat Abarth. Now this is a 2020 model. And this is, as I've been told, the last year for the Fiat 500 in America. There's going to be a rethink on it, and probably an all-electric version will come next. Here again, the then and now theme, or now and then theme, 2 Volkswagen convertibles. The just recently ended production of the current model, and this looks like a Super Beetle judging by the bumpers. I'm not a big VW guy, don't know that much about them, but that much I do know. That's a 73. That was the year I graduated high school. Jimmy Dinsmore, if you want me to get these photos of this one, although we have photos for your upcoming upcoming book on Ford trucks. This is a 31 Model A, and it's gorgeous. Not quite the then and now theme, or now and then theme, is the current Jeep Gladiator, and then we have a Jeep Commando. Now these were built by both Kaiser, and then later for a couple of years by American Motors. And if I come around to the front of this, I believe this is a Kaiser version because it'll have the Rhino style grille, and yes, that is the case. I believe this is an owner vehicle, but you can see the Jeep Commando logo on there. Here's a view of the show. It's amazing. Guy would have loved to have gone to college here. There's students sketching cars, obviously inspired by the wonderful designs then and now. As you can see, I'm going to walk over to Superformance's exhibit. So sorry for the jumpiness. This is a Mark I Ford GT40, and it's in the famous Gulf livery. Apparently Lance has bought the Shelby GT concept car because he's listed as the owner of it, and you can see the then and now theme again with the Pete Brock designed car in the background. The Shelby GR1 was designed in the studio that was at the time helmed by my friend Freeman Thomas, and to give you an idea of Freeman's design breadth, he was also responsible with J. May for the original Concept 1 VW. Now this is obviously a far cry from Jay and Freeman's concept, but still Freeman just got a tremendous design brief. Now retired, was also responsible with Ralph Gilles for the design of the Chrysler 300, the 2005 version, actually the original concept version, which debuted a few years earlier. This is the surprise of the show for me. I think the new Corvette in both convertible and coupe versions is just spectacular. It's so much better looking in person than it is in the photographs, and the photographs were quite good. But the thing is, it's just an incredible bargain. At some point, people will be able to buy them at MSRP. That will not happen next year when the cars first come out. I can only guess what the added dealer markup will be on them. But the area where the guys at Chevrolet have really upped their game, the interiors are world class. No longer will auto journalists like me be able to bitch about the poor fit and finish and lack of quality of the Corvette interior. It is, again, much better in person than it is in any of the photos, and even in these conditions with the high contrast light. I'm going to switch over here, get some of the other cars on display, make this video a little bit shorter so I make sure I get a good cross section of what's on display here. And the thing is, you've got all kinds of cars. It's a very eclectic show. So if you got a low rider parked next to a Bugatti, and there's not that many places that you're going to see that. And that's why this show is so special. This is a Lancia Stratus one-off. Look at the way the interior is done on this. There was some girls in space helmets, and this is a very space-age looking car that I photographed earlier, and I will be posting those on my Facebook page. In fact, they're already up there. I'm going to come over to this Talbot Lago. This pulled in early. I got some nice shots of it with some really nice light. Right now the light is not too good, and but yet you can tell what a beautiful car this is. Here's a Matra Bonnet, I believe, a DJ. My French is pretty poor. This is owned by another friend, Rich Plavich, who works out of Nissan Design International. Rich has got a number of very small displacement cars, all fun. longtime Cars and Coffee SoCal regular. Going to swing around to the Herb Adams Vivant. This I saw at Pebble Beach several years ago. Spoke with the car's caretaker today, and we'll be connecting on a full feature on this car very soon. Looks pretty production ready to me. I know how I'm going to end this video this time and make it shorter. I'm going to walk around here. There's a Maserati race car, and I believe it's a 47. So the interesting thing about it, owned by another friend, Paul Merrigan, is think about it's just 2 years removed from the end of World War II, and Maserati was making a recovery. Very sparse car, but purpose-built and just lovely. Hi, Paul.
Hi.
Doing good. I love this.
It could be yours.
It could be. Going to come through here. This Porsche, I believe, ran the Beijing to Paris race this past summer. Going to swing through here. You know, you have some everyday Porsches and Ferraris. I have no idea what it is, but it may be a Cadillac.
And you got stuck on the turn. There's 5 miles.
And that's what it is. The pre-war stuff, especially pre-World War I, is not my thing. Now this is pretty interesting. This Cadillac was the personal limousine of dictator Franco in Spain. I'll pick up the storyboard so you can read about it. Gonna come through here. And I'm gonna end up on a car that's near and dear to my heart. It's a Jeep Wagoneer. Now this is a vehicle that was built by the FCA design team, headed by another friend, Ralph Gilles. And I believe that this has a 5.7 Hemi under the hood. Won't be able to get a good look at the interior because the glass is up, but you may be able to see, yep, you should be able to see the oxblood vinyl trim or leather trim on it. It's just so cool. So that's going to be my shorter video. I'll post both of them. I'm afraid that the first one got cut off. One more look at the Bosley. And this is a one-off Hemi-powered race car built here in the United States. A lot of people looking at it this morning early thought it was a Ferrari. And of course the Chip Foose cars behind it. Chip, a graduate of the ArtCenter College of Design. And I'm going to wrap this up and head home. Thanks for watching. Please leave comments below. Tell me what your favorites were, what you thought of the quality of the video. I decided not to do a live stream this time because when I do, that's the only video I get, and it's very compressed, and it just doesn't do the cars justice. The audio seems to be okay, but the video, even when it gets saved, is not very good. So say goodbye and see you on the next video.